Did you see that Yanni Gourde contract yesterday?
Yeah.
I was like,
A very small AAV, isn't it?
33 years old, signs a 6-year deal worth 14 million bucks, brings you to an AAV of 2.33 million bucks. With the salary cap going up, that is a home run of a deal for the Tampa Bay Lightning for years to come.
Yeah, no kidding. And it makes you think of some of the contracts coming down the barrel. And, obviously John Tavares with some comparables there. Obviously, he didn't score 38 last year and doesn't have the pedigree that John does. And John's a touch older, a couple of years maybe. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised more teams don't do this with guys, approaching their mid 30s. Will give you it depends. Like if you're 36, this next contract is going to be your last one. So in that situation, why not give you a multi-year deal, like longer than you would otherwise? You're going to get all your money, but you're helping the team out. You have that security down the road, and if you're done, then you can say when you're done, right? Like say John Tavares signs an 8-year deal. Is he going to be playing on this team in 8 years? I would say no. But you give him that deal and say, "Here, John, you're a Leaf for life. You're going to retire here, and it's on your terms. You decide when you retire, kind of thing." And when you retire, you say, "Oh, I'm on the LTI. I'm hurt. I can't play anymore." And you collect the rest of your money. You got all of it over a longer period of time. I get that's a knock to the player, but in his situation where he wants to help the Leafs, wants to finish being a Leaf, why not do that Yanni Gourde type of contract? Obviously, the numbers will be different, but what do you think that could look like?
No, that's a good. Like the thing I was going to bring up first is if you recall the contract Chris Tanev signed last summer, 6 years, 27 million bucks. You're nuts if you think he's finishing this contract. I think a precedence has been set the last couple of years. With regards to Tavares, I just don't know what that new contract's going to look like. There's been a lot of speculation. Maybe it's a 2-3-year deal at 5 million AAV, but I would say firstly they have to use the leverage. John Tavares has put it out into the universe. He wants to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. That's why there's been no rumors associating John Tavares with any other team in the NHL. Rosie, they got to strong arm this guy. If you want to stay in Toronto, 3 million bucks, take it or leave it. You have to play hardball sometimes, man.
It's just with him and his agent, they're gonna go, "Did you just offer a 38 goal scorer 3 million bucks with a history of high end hockey, very high IQ, plays the game, the team role, gave up his captaincy graciously and made it easy on the club?" Like that's a slap in the face to a player, though. If you like it, to me, and probably to John, you would think it would be not so much AAV, but what's the total of this contract? Okay, you've made $110 million or whatever the hell he's made. We're going to bump this to, what's, maybe 20 million more dollars. You're going to make 20 million more dollars in your career, whether it's over 6 years or 4 years, you know what I mean? Just if you could stretch it out, that's the hometown discount, but you're not getting your money. Like that makes unbelievable sense to a guy that age, of that caliber, who wants to stay but wants to help the team, but still respects himself and says, "I just put up 38." That checks all the boxes, doesn't it? Spread out his years, give him a longer term contract where you probably know the last 2-3 years he's not going to be playing on your team, eating your cap. You're going to LTIR him, and he's going to retire, quote unquote. But you can't actually retire because then you don't get your contract. But you're everything but on paper retired, and you get all your money. Like, why doesn't that make sense?
No, it does make sense. It's definitely a loophole from the Tavares, aspect. I don't know, like what his camp's thinking. I really don't.
Yeah.
But you're right from the Maple Leafs perspective, and that's probably why they did it with Chris Tanev. I think it's no secret if Tanev takes less term, he's probably making more money, and everybody knows that he's unlikely to play the last 5 years of his contract out. Maybe he has 3, 4, maybe 4 strong years left in him. But there's no doubt that a contract for JT, the longer it goes, the less AAV, which is just great news, because that's the thing that gets me about the Yanni Gourde contract is Tampa's always going to be a team that is flirting with the salary cap, regardless of the fact that it's going up exponentially the next couple years. And you get a guy like Gourde, who's still a really serviceable middle six guy, we'll say, at $2.33 million. Like that is some good business. And yes, it's taking advantage of a loophole in the CBA. And why can't the Leafs do that? But all I'm saying on the Tavares front, It's like, I think the Maple Leafs have lost so many negotiations in the last decade. It is time to win one. Strong
Yeah.
arm this guy. I don't care about disrespect. You know what disrespect is? Taking 11 million bucks per season. I'm coming home, but yeah, I want the money too. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah, he's made some cash, all right, and I think he wants to make like some sort of concession. And but you know, there's two sides of it. I want to help the team, but I also am a player who has done special things like scoring 38 goals. How many guys in the league score 38? Not a lot.
Mhm.
And the great thing to me is that he wants to be here. Okay. Um, you're going to take a haircut from your 11 million, also great. But the people that say, let's move on from John Tavares, you didn't win with him, move on. But like, okay, peel back one layer of the story, you doughhead, and realize that you're going to get him. Say he's in the bottom six here in the future, right?
Mhm.
How good of a player is that in your bottom six? And if you can get him at a 4 or a 5 AAV, which I think they can, why not even stretch it out more and see if you can knock that down a little bit? Maybe it's even more money at the end of the day for John, which the Maple Leafs don't give a rip about, right? They have money coming out of their ears. It's not like they're a smaller market team that every million counts to the owner. They're like, yeah, we can do that to try to win now. Spread that out. Maybe you give him an extra couple of $1 million by doing that. And he's like, I'm getting paid. I'm getting my money. I'm getting more than I thought. And I can retire on my terms. And I'm helping the team. And the fans are happy. And I stay with the Maple Leafs. Like, check, check, check. For the people that say move on from him, okay, you move on from John Tavares, who just scored 38, and replace him with who? Like, you're not asking him to be your core four anymore. You're asking him to step down and be that serviceable guy. And when we talk about the playoff runs that all these teams go on, they have those guys in their middle and bottom six that are really capable. You don't think if the Leafs, make a move with Marner and get whoever and get grittier and get more playoff performer type players on there, and then, well, what's down your lineup? A John Tavares is there as your 3C. Let's go, man. Sign that guy up. If you let him go, you are scrambling to replace him and his production with anyone else who's no guarantees they're going to be better. Like, I think John's been good in the playoffs, all his leadership, his professionalism. He knows Toronto. Like, he checks so many boxes, man. Get this guy done. But people don't really look into it enough and say, what are we bringing John back for? That's just running. No, you dummy. He's a completely different role in the future. And he's oftentimes, at this new contract, very likely to outperform his contract, which is exactly what you need.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.